Yesterday, we told you how Twitter has restricted our story on abortion. We told you how a factual story on reproductive freedom has been branded sensitive content, how its reach has been restricted, how Twitter has failed to give any explanation for its action. Yesterday, we also told you how social media platforms are manipulating and controlling conversations. We listed numerous instances to show how platforms like Twitter are becoming a threat to free speech. And so many of you supported us for calling out manipulated social media, and I really want to thank you all for that. A lot of you also wrote to us narrating your own personal experiences. And we learned how this muzzling of voices online is so rampant and blatant. How social media platforms think they can get away with restricting the reach of some of the world's most prominent and influential voices because they raise uncomfortable subjects. I have a very special guest joining me tonight on Gravitas. He's someone who has had a public war of words with Twitter's top boss. Someone who's been blacklisted by Twitter and believes that social media platforms are like British colonialists. Joining me live from California is Vivek Wadhwa. He is an author and academician. Vivek Wadhwa, good evening and a very warm welcome to you on Gravitas.
Hello, Palki.
You told me your story with Twitter. Why don't you share it with our audience tonight?
Well, I was introduced to Twitter by one of its founders, Biz Stone. He helped me get my Twitter ID at Wadhwa, and he gave me VIP status, so much so that for the longest time, I didn't even see ads on Twitter like normal people do. And my following built up very rapidly until they had a CEO, Dick Costolo. And I started complaining about the sexism that I saw in the company. It's a boys' club. This is a common problem in Silicon Valley, that it's male-dominated, and these boys misbehave literally. So I raised the issue that Twitter has an all-male board. And how did Twitter respond? Well, he started attacking me on Twitter. He basically called me a fool, a comedian, Carrot Top is what he called me. There was such an uproar that he had to relent and add women to his board. But ever since then, people can't find me on Twitter anymore. So much so, verification. I've been a columnist, a globally syndicated columnist for the Washington Post for many, many, many years. I used to be. And I also wrote for a tech blog called VentureBeat, which is one of the most popular here in Silicon Valley. Every other writer was verified. Twitter would not verify me. Today, Twitter has not verified me, despite the fact I've requested this a couple of times, and they won't verify me because they're still holding a grudge. That's what the problem is. What you're experiencing is this mindset that you see in Silicon Valley that we are superior. It's a God complex. They really believe that they are right. And what India has been experiencing with Facebook and WhatsApp. I've written a book about it. I wrote a book called Your Happiness Was Hacked, how the tech industry is trying to control your mind and how you can fight back. That's what the book was all about. And I've been very vocal about it. I also warned about the dangers of WhatsApp on Indian media long ago, well before anyone else was. But this is a long battle I've had with the tech industry.
Right, and I would want you to know your opinion on why you think Twitter chose to restrict a story on abortion of all things. On what grounds does a platform that publicly champions free speech filter a conversation on reproductive freedom?
Palki, this is some junior level Twitter product manager or social media manager who just decided that he or she didn't like you and they blacklisted you. That's how it works. During the days of the British, they would have their junior officers come to India and they would suddenly become gods and dictate to people what they can and can't do. This is what you have here. You have some junior level person who arbitrarily made a decision. There are no guidelines to follow, or if there are guidelines, they don't follow them. They just do whatever they want to do. So you have some junior, babu who happens to be a Twitter employee dictating what you can and can't do. Well, they dictate who's popular, who's not popular.
And just so that you know, and our viewers know, it's been more than 36 hours. Twitter has not given us an explanation or bothered to respond on why they restricted our report. Vivek, why do you liken social media platforms to British colonialists as you just did?
Because, if you look at the ads that these companies took out, saying, protect free speech. I mean, the attack on the Indian government, if you look at what Facebook did in Australia, essentially blacklisting the entire country, it's because these people have this mindset that we are better than everyone else. when they blacklisted Trump, you can like or dislike Trump, that's irrelevant. But the fact that they could blacklist a former president of the United States, they have more power than governments do. And that's what East India Company was as well. It had more power than the British government had. And when it came abroad, it started colonializing and taking over entire countries. This is what you have right now with the tech industry. It's become so powerful that the politicians, can't even rein them in. So now you have the Republicans who are firmly against social media, and you have the Democrats who sort of are against it, yet nothing has happened. I mean, Biden has been in power for many months now, yet you have had no change in policy because that's how powerful these platforms are. So they're now bent on colonializing India because they see this as a huge market opportunity. China locked them out. China was very smart in the way it locked them out and built its own social media platforms. India hasn't been that smart. Indian leaders have been trying to follow the rules of capitalism, follow the rules of open societies, and do things the right way. However, these tech industries, the tech companies are taking advantage of India's weakness. The fact that WhatsApp is allowed now to build a digital currency and to now start doing its evil is because it somehow has persuaded the Indian government to leave it alone. And it's the same thing with Twitter, that even though you have, the politicians now complaining about, what it's doing, they really haven't reined the company in.
Final question, Vivek. Social media is a part and parcel of our life today. And today it's Twitter and Facebook. Tomorrow it'll be some other company. How do we navigate around what we call a manipulated social media?
Palki, this is a very serious issue. This is a national security issue for India because now you have foreign companies dictating what's right and what's wrong. I mean, forget about abortion. I mean, Silicon Valley is actually left-leaning and the employees are supporters of abortion. So naturally, they should have supported you and promote. They would normally have promoted it. However, some junior employee had an issue with it and they blocked it. But this is how powerful the tech industry is. What has to happen is that the government has to take its role. In Europe, you have the countries coming together, and the GDPR legislation was quite restrictive. They're now talking about taking it 2 steps further. India needs to set the example and rein these companies in. It needs to now dictate clearly what the rules are and tell them that if you don't comply with our rules, you're out. It's not for you to decide what's right and what's wrong. It's not for you to decide what our values should be and who we should consider to be breaking the rules or not. The rules are not for you to set. The rules are for us to set. It's our society, it's our values, it's our morals, and we decide what they are. If our government does something you don't like, then it's for the public to throw us out. We're a democracy. And the way democracies work is that if the public are not happy with us, they throw us out of power. So if Indians don't like, what its leaders are saying, they should be booted out of power. It's not for you, Twitter or Facebook, to tell us what we should believe in, what we shouldn't believe in, what is free speech and what is not free speech. So the government has to now step up and do its job.
Indeed. Vivek Wadhwa, thanks very much. Appreciate your time and you sharing your thoughts with us. That was the author and academician Vivek Wadhwa joining us live from California. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.